Wagwan guys, welcome back to my channel and welcome to the very first episode of the Inner Circle Podcast. I'm your host Dwight Ebanks and this is Dwight Ebanks TV. I want to say thank you guys for tuning in. If this is your first time tuning in, I want to say welcome to my channel, big up yourself. This is not your first time, then I also want to say big up yourself and welcome back. You know what I mean? Anyways, before we get into the video, I want to say my apologies. I use a different microphone when recording the video, so my voice is not going to come across as clearly and loudly as I initially thought that it was. But we had some technical difficulties and we recorded the video, and afterwards is when I realized that the audio wasn't quite clear. The microphone wasn't turned up enough in terms of how it receives the audio. Anyways, on a lighter note, I want to say this is going to be a really good video, right? You're going to enjoy the content. If you are here, it simply means that you're the type of person who like to, you're looking for content that will actually help you listen to different people's stories and how they're navigating life, stories of success and stories of failure, because failure isn't always bad, you know. Failure is something that you can use to become a better version of yourself. You know, if you have 100 ideas, you don't need the 100 ideas to work, you need one. You might fail 99 times, but the one time you actually succeed, you become a multi-millionaire, billionaire, right? So this platform is built on that premise. We want to have conversations with young entrepreneurs, as well as people who are off the mindset of entrepreneurship and wealth management and building wealth. And therefore, when we have these conversations, we want to be able to share this with you so you too can get the tips and tricks and tools and the resources to help curb your mindset and just to give you the right push in the right direction. So today's guest I'm honored to have this conversation because it's somebody I have seen his journey from afar. By afar, I mean through social media, because we went to the same high school, but obviously, you know, life takes you in two different directions, and quite often we don't necessarily get to see everything. But he has had quite an interesting life so far, and it's been one that he has earned. It was never given to him. Today you're going to hear his story of how he was able to transform himself from, you know, a little youth who will go down on the beach and Negril to sell jewelry to somebody who is sitting in a high position in Sagicor, as well as the owner of multiple well-known businesses. His story is well documented. It is, and I'm proud to say that he is a former mining student like myself. And so, like I said, I just want to have this conversation with him, and I know you guys are going to enjoy the conversation. So, without any more delays, I want to say this is Terron Dewar. Enjoy the video. Again, remember to like and subscribe for more content like this. Enjoy. I want to introduce you guys. For some of you who do know him, then you know who he is. If you don't know who he is, then now you know. This is Terron Dewar. Welcome, Terron, to the Inner Circle Podcast. How you doing?
Yeah, most things are good, my brother, and the ones that are not yet good are working on them.
Working on them.
Yes.
All right, guys. But this is Terron Dewar. You don't know, past student of the prestigious mining school. Now, Terron was also twice president of the UE Guild, founder of Campus Cuts. He's also was VP of Properties and Initiatives at the UE, University of West Indies as well. He was also the recipient of the highest award that the university offers to any student, the Premier Awards, twice. He was also a two-time lecturer, and he's currently the head of Sagicor Life Digital Distribution for Jamaica, the Cayman Islands, and Costa Rica, and most recently, the founder of 876 DNA. How that sound?
Well, like holy.
You sound
like
busy,
a lot.
man.
Well, I tend to do a lot, my brother. I tend to do a lot. Yeah, come.
I mean, that explains why it's obvious in your background you are at work.
Yes, I'm still in my office. My work day is not yet done. I mean, I put in easily 16 hours a day in between all my different ventures.
Mm-hmm.
I keep it moving. That is just how I operate. I keep it moving.
That makes sense. No,
Yeah.
I mean, let's start here. Married, single?
Yes, married with kids. I try to establish some solid foundation early. I don't know much time wasting and much gallivanting. I don't find that it helps me.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not knocking anybody who does that. I mean, different everybody enjoy their life differently, but structure is important for me.
I mean, that does make sense. Structure is important in everything. Um, one, two kids, three.
Yeah, free.
Okay, so you're not a girl then. Far from it. That makes sense. So how do you kind of make time for family with such a busy schedule? 5 6 days a week you work, and how do you
Well, I
make time for
work.
family?
Well, I work every day of the week. Um,
7 days.
every day of the week. I work every day of the week. I have my hands in a number of things. What I try to do is I try to interweave my work with family.
Mm-hmm.
I try where possible to introduce and even commingle family with work, especially for the ventures that I brainchild own and operate.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I just try to make the best of make the best of what I can. I have instances where I buy back my time. So I have some things that I don't do. Something that I don't do, I pay people to do them or outsource them, so that
That makes sense.
I can better use my time. How I want, how I need to do it in terms of managing my family and that sort of thing. But that is how I do it.
That does make sense. I
Yeah.
mean, the way I see it, that requires a very strong work ethic, you know? And with a work ethic like that, there has to be some form of origin.
All
So I
right.
want to take it back a little bit earlier, early life. I mean, I drag your memory essentially back to kind of where it all began. Um, what was your upbringing like? Family structures, things like that.
Okay. So I'd say a normal family upbringing. I grew up in an extended family for sure. My mother migrated when I was young. I was in grade 4 when she migrated to the United States. And at that point in time, up until that point in time, I stayed. My brother OJ and I stayed predominantly with our mother. And then after she migrated, we moved between our grandmother and our father. So my grandmother, a solid Christian one, Miss Susie, love her to death. I'm her first grandson. I'm her first
Oh,
grandchild, actually. I'm a very first one.
the very
I'm
first.
definitely a grandma's boy. I was raised largely by my grandmother and then in the latter years by my father. So my grandmother gave us the church and the discipline and the structure. We went to church, every Sunday, every rally, every crusade. And she raised 5 grandkids. Uh,
Mm.
yeah, 5 grandkids in one in that house. And then in the summers, I'd spend the summers and then every occasionally year with my father. My father is a Rastaman who sell craft on the beach in Negril. So,
Oh
so
yeah.
yes, the Rastaman I sell craft on the beach. I've been in sales, bro. I've been on the beach, shining or sanding down wooden craft and making beads and offering tourists beads. I
That's where
tell
the
my
sales come from.
Yeah, man. And I tell my 9 year
Oh,
old son, I tell my 9 year old son, I have a son who is 9. I tell him, by the time I was 9 years old, I had $1 million with a seal under my bed. Long time.
long time.
Because, long time. Because when we're talking about US dollars, I mean, so
Uh huh.
$5 for your bracelet or $10 for your hematite necklace, depending on what you're doing. And I didn't grow up like how some kids grow up where they got to go to other family members for summers or travel overseas. Every summer we spent with our father on the beach, selling things to tourists. So, and that is an instance where if you go on the beach, you don't make no money, you don't eat no lunch. You
Oh,
know,
you eat what you kill. You kill what you eat, or
yeah,
eat what you
yeah,
kill.
yes. So my father
Okay.
would tell us, yo, the very first thing you do if you make a sale is buy lunch. You can home the rest. So lots of time we would take taxi, go up to the beach,
Mm-hmm.
and it would be like maybe like maybe like 5 miles up the beach from the town center in Negril. And then if you don't make any sale, you don't buy no lunch, you have to walk back.
Aye.
So we had my brother and I had farm character,
Yeah.
and I did that for years. So all of my primary school years, all of my high school years, it was the only time I did not do that was in lower six, between the gap between the summer between lower six, is between lower six, the gap between upper six and university.
Mm.
That was the only time I didn't do that. I got a job at, I think, brick beaches at the point in time. Summer
Gotcha.
job. But I
So
did that for all my life. That's what I know.
the hustle started early.
Oh yeah, man, it's a hustle start early, man. Because I've never seen my father selling, working for somebody. My father rode a bicycle for most of his years in his life, most of the years in his life until, I mean, me a big man who can buy a car. I said, Daddy, I do that. But I mean, that is where it came
Yeah.
from. Yeah,
That make a lot of sense though, because it kind of teach you the hustle and the grind
yeah, man.
and how to earn and stuff like that. So you went to what primary school?
I went to art, so I went to a number of primary schools in a row. You know, there's a Rolling Stone get a no mass. I don't get a no mass, and up until this day, I keep it moving. Once it's not working, I keep it moving. So the first thing I must tell you is that the first primary school I went to was a prep school. So my
Mm,
life started off fairly solid. My mother was, I think she was working maybe at a hotel, and my dad contributed, and we started to go to kiddies prep in Sablamar. And then my mother's house burnt down. We lost
oh,
everything, everything,
everything.
every single thing. We lose every single thing. And then from that point in time, now we moved from. I was in grade two. My brother was in grade one. We had to go to primary school, and I went back and I went to Negril all age for 1 year for grade one, and I went to Mount Grace primary and junior high for grade two. I went to Grange Hill primary for grade three, and I did grade three to grade six in Grange Hill primary school, and then I passed to
Gotcha.
go to Mannings. So as you can see, I moved quite a bit. You know,
Understandably, considering the hardship that the family
yeah,
went
man, yeah,
through.
man. I moved quite a bit. I moved quite a bit, and it also taught me how to adjust.
Yeah.
Yeah, I adjust quick. I adjust quickly to everything. Yeah,
Because in sales, because I'm in sales and I've been in sales for about 6 years now. And when you're selling high ticket items, one of the things that you
right.
must learn is you must learn to be a chameleon.
Yes, you
And
must. And
you
because the sales
must
cycle is not short. The
know
high ticket item, the sales cycle is a little longer.
exactly. When you're asking somebody to spend, and we're talking US dollars here, when your average ticket price is over 20, 30, 40, $50,000,
Right,
it requires a tedious process in making a
right, right,
decision.
right, right.
Because obviously the risk is much much higher.
Much, much higher. Yeah,
Yes, so therefore you have to be a chameleon, and what you learn at that tender age, while in primary school, is the ability to adapt your
yeah,
environment,
man,
and
for sure.
which fundamental,
Yeah,
fundamental, and then you persevered through all of this, and you went on to the prestigious man in school.
yeah. When the man in school,
Mm.
and
Yeah,
at
man.
that point in time in my community, there was not a lot of people who went to Mannings. Um, Obviously, there are people here and there, people who are older than me, but in my age, not a lot of people went to Mannings. But I can tell you a sizable amount of people from my year group in Grangeville Primary passed the Mannings. I think there was about 50% of the class in that year passed to go to Mannings. Our teacher was Miss Brown at the point in time, a short brown Indian lady. But yeah, quite a number of us passed the Mannings. But in my community, there wasn't a lot of us who went to Mannings.
Understandably, I mean, I think I've had cousins. My sister went to Mannings, but I understand that. I definitely understand because
Yeah,
I feel like when you're from certain areas and you pass to go Mannings, it's like a big deal. The
yeah.
prestigious Mannings school. The oldest school in Jamaica. You know, we need to tell that to the Woolmer's boys them. Educate them on the educate them on
You
the
know,
fact.
never leave you to them, bro. I don't take them up on these things.
But you're based in Kingston. I'm based in Florida,
Yeah,
so
this is the
we're
next
back,
thing too.
brother.
I'm based in Kingston, where all these schools are. And these people and their alma mater pride. Um,
Oh,
but again, why I prioritize the priorities, and alma mater pride and this gung ho approach to it has never been something that
yeah, man. But
ah,
with Mannings, there's always the whole blue bloods thing, right?
right.
But I can understand. No, my question to you is no. When it comes on to high school, because I believe this is my belief. So this don't hold me to it if you have a different opinion.
That's right.
I believe in terms of the direction that your life going, I believe that high school probably is the most effective educational or step or level, whatever you want to describe it as. I believe it leaves the biggest mark on you in terms of
Mm-hmm.
impact. If you were to compare each one, because by the time you get to university, you are already of a certain mindset. I believe high school kind of have that impact on you. Would
Right.
you agree or disagree on that?
For me, it was different. For me, it
Okay.
was different. Yeah. So you and I went to the same high school.
Mm-hmm.
And in my time in Manens, I went to school with some people who were from more prominent families, right?
True.
Um, and I'm gonna say I was an average student at Manins. Obviously, I had leadership characteristics, but I never held any other leadership posts. I mean, I played sport. I did my schoolwork. I mean, so I almost, as a matter of fact, the people who I was friends with, those are some of the people who they'd consider troublemakers. And to be very honest, in my high school years, in my friend group, I was probably one of the only ones who graduated or went to sixth form, because in the latter part of fifth form there was this big fight and a bunch of people got suspended. And there's a whole story behind that I could tell you. I mean, if we have the
Aye,
time,
aye, aye.
but yeah. So I didn't get the same enveloping feeling from the school. There are
Yeah.
some teachers who definitely made an indelible mark, on who I am. I mean, and I know these teachers by name. You know, I know these teachers by name, and they need to be acknowledged, if this platform presents itself. But
Definitely.
definitely, I think I made a concerted effort to change my approach and outlook on things when I went to university. Within the first 3 days of me reaching the University of the West Indies, when they had the big orientation session, I turned to my friend Natasha Malcolm, who you may know as Sarge, and I said, "Sal, I was in there right in the assembly hall. And when I went there in 2009, the guild president at the point in time was a young man called Vishwanath Tolan. I'll never forget.
What
And
a name.
Vishwanath Tolan was on stage and he was making his introductory remarks as guild president. And within 20 minutes, Natasha Malcolm look at me and say, so you can be guild president? I'm saying, within 20 minutes, we
Within
made the
20
decision
minutes.
that she made the decision that I was going to be guild president.
It's funny you said that because this is the
Yeah,
perfect segue.
yeah.
Because the reason why I mentioned this, right? Because one of the things is the person that I want to really get this video to, a lot of the people are going to be young people in high school, outside of high school. How important is it being around the right people? Because
Come on,
obviously in this case,
you have to
you
have good
manifested
friends.
it.
Yeah, no, you have to have good friends, man. You must have good friends. I mean, how I look at it is, you have some people in different age group. They tend to network up. They don't really network a lot with the people who they are in the same age group with, are growing up. People who they will rise with, right? They tend to network up because they believe that the people who are above them can do more for them than the people
Yeah.
who are with them or below them. I've never held that perspective. I treat everybody with respect, and I network with my people, because I know when it's time for us to rise. Like when we were younger, they used to say we are going to be the future. I know that when it's time for us to be the now, it's going to be our people who we network with. Is going to be the now. So that is how I looked at it. I never tried to get ahead, or any of that. I was just never driven that way. In terms of this whole networking up to move ahead. It was never
Yeah.
my approach. But so I surrounded myself with the people who we came up with, and the more genuine people, the people who had the head and the body, and that sort of thing. And I have some solid friends, man. I have
Yeah.
people who, yeah, I have people who, when them, if you get a call and say Terron Dewar, say, you consider that done.
Yeah.
But yeah, because as them say, me a good youth. I mean, I
Yeah.
mean, I don't know nobody not, and them always not say, me I gonna show you a game. I'm gonna show you the answer to the exam. So I have a lot of people who really look out for me.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, me just blessed that way there to have some
Yeah,
solid.
man.
Yeah, yeah.
And the thing about it too is, based on what you said, a couple of your friends them that you were friends with in high school weren't necessarily the best of people them, right? Them never have, I want to say best of people we're talking about in terms of the things they were into.
Yeah, man, for sure.
And but you were
And I
able
used to get
to
trouble
kind of
too.
bridge
How can
the
I acknowledge that?
yeah,
As I those,
naturally.
whenever we weren't always right, they weren't right.
Yeah.
Understand? But we can look back at that and understand what that was for the time that it was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is true. This is true. I mean, and then through high school, you finished, you graduated. You were the only, pretty much one of the only persons within your group that graduated from high school, and then you move on to sixth form.
Right.
And in
That
sixth form,
changed.
that changed.
In sixth form, I
Everything
changed. I
changed.
also changed in sixth form too. No, I also changed in sixth form too. In sixth form too, I made a concerted effort to spend a little more time on book work. I became a little bit
Gotcha.
more studious and a little bit more structured. I always had the brilliance too, So it's just that I never had the discipline to support the brilliance in the lower part of school. But once, I mean, I was in sixth form and I recognized that my trajectory was supposed to go to university. I start focus on schoolwork. 'Cause when I left Manins, I left with 22 subjects in a bro.
Huh? Say what now?
22 when I left Manins, I left with 22 subjects, 22 subjects, and
Oh,
I never make
so
it, and I never made it on the stage. I can let you know
okay.
that.
We need
I
to
never
have
made
that
it on the
conversation
stage.
here.
Yeah,
We
I
need to
never
have
made
this
it on the stage.
conversation.
I don't even think I got that special award. I don't even know what happened there, and I don't really care. So but I started early because one of my uncles, Uncle David, I'll never forget. He went to
Mm-hmm.
Froome School, played a lot of football, and I don't think he left with a lot of subjects. But when I was in like fourth farm, going on fifth farm, he started to go back to school to kind of reskill himself. Because eventually he used to do merchandising at that point in time. And he
Oh, okay,
wanted,
gotcha.
yeah, and he wanted to become a fireman. He's a fireman now, right?
Mm.
But he started to go to like extra classes when I was in fourth farm. And I thought, if my uncle can do this, that is literally what I said, If my uncle can do this, why me can't do it? So my uncle and I did CXCs at the same time. So I did
Mm-hmm.
3 CXCs when I was 3 or 4, I don't remember, when I was in fourth farm. So by the time I finished fifth farm, between um CXCs and Cape subjects, I had a godly amount of them.
My goodness. So between CXC and Cape, you had 22.
Yeah, man, about 22. And at this point in time in my life, I have no evidence that I went to high school. Don't ask me. I don't wear none of those certificates. I don't have no high school leaving certificate. I just know that that was just, I guess, the thing to do. But by the time I reached sixth form, I really started to take the book thing a little bit more serious. And I always had the intellectual capacity to do it. It's just, as I said, I never had the discipline, you know,
Good
in the
point.
lower school. Yeah.
I mean, based on everything that you've said so far, because we've gotten to the high school stage now, sixth form to be exact.
Mm-hmm.
Based on everything you've said so far, it doesn't sound like you had any gold spoon.
No, man, no gold spoon, no gold, bro, no gold spoon. As a matter of fact, I didn't even know how wooden my spoon was until I went to university and went back home after the first summer. When I went back home after the first summer, bro, is when I recognized I grew up poor.
You never
I,
realize
no,
it.
I
You
did
never
not
feel
know.
it.
No, I didn't recognize. I didn't see it.
Yeah.
I didn't see it. When I went back, like the real size of the place that I grew up in, all of a sudden I saw the size and the aesthetic of the place because I got exposed to the bigger buildings and maybe more refined aesthetic of how buildings look in Kingston. And
Yeah.
when I went back home for the summer, bro, for years I didn't go home for summer. After I saw that.
It was
Yeah,
kind
for
of hard to go
years.
back to it. Hard
No,
to go
bro.
back
For
to it.
years I didn't go back home, bro. Do you know what I
Mm.
did, bro? I had positions after positions after, because after my first year, and I was sports representative for Taylor Hall. And then I became games committee chairman for the Gill and a whole bunch of other things. And I used the summers to work to set the foundation for these offices that I held for the upcoming year. And I would stay on campus. And I think I used it subconsciously, if I think about it now, as an excuse not to really go back home, because what was I going to go back home to do? Because if I went back home, the natural thing would be to go back to Negril and work with my father on the beach, selling craft to tourists.
Right.
And having I recognize that my perspective on the things changed because of what I saw in Kingston and what those possibilities were. And I just decided I wasn't going to do it. So I didn't go back home.
I
Yeah.
mean, that makes sense.
But it
That
makes
that that
sense.
make a lot of sense.
Perfect sense.
In
And
hindsight.
in hindsight, because I didn't even recognize, every now and again I evaluate myself. Because I can be I'm my best critic. Yeah. So I step back and I really look at it. And I can be
Yeah.
brutally honest with myself. Say, yeah, you make a flunk of that, And when I
Yeah.
think about some of these things that inform who I am and how I operate, yeah, those are some of the answers that I come up with.
I mean, that makes sense though. That makes
Yeah.
so much sense because, I mean, I like to describe, for example, my upbringing as I wasn't rich.
Right.
Um, my family wasn't rich, but my mother never made me feel poor. My
Right.
parents never made me feel poor. My parents never made me feel any type of way. We had everything that we needed, every single thing that we needed. Obviously, growing up, for example, I wanted my parents to buy me a PS, not PS, Nintendo 64,
Xbox or
man.
Nintendo,
Nintendo 64 from them days there. Nintendo 64, me the one and buy me that. Being at Mannings, you mentioned being around prominent families.
Mhm.
Remember being at Mannings and when Razor come out and Sliver and those things and Blackberry, I see people coming back from them trip to the US in the summertime and
Right.
then bring back these phones and
Bring
everything
back
and you
these
hear like,
phones. Walkmans and yo, I never forget,
oh
bro. I
God,
never forget, bro. I never forget, bro. I can never forget these things. Understand?
can't forget them.
No, we can't forget them.
Can't
Can't
forget
forget them.
them. But
Can't forget
you
them.
know what I've realized quite often, is a lot of these people who were that privileged, the dynamic has shifted now.
Yeah, the dynamic has shifted. They
The
peak at a
dynamic is
particular
shifted.
point. Yeah, they peak at a particular point in their
Yeah.
life. And again, I, I don't even know how much of that is there. Well, obviously you have to get control of your life.
And
I was going
accountability.
to say I don't even know how much of that is there fully their fault because I mean
Hmm.
how you grew up, significantly shape your outcome, your output, and I was about to say I don't know how much of that is their fault, but I'm a fervent believer in taking control of your life.
Hmm.
So I'm gonna have to put the responsibility where it lies and say, yo, you just have to take responsibility of your life. Um, some people are
Irrespective of how you grew up.
yeah, man, irrespective of how you grow up. Because yeah, some people grew up in prominent families, who continue to be prominent, whether they were assisted by the upbringing or they put in their own pound of flesh. But so you have to take responsibility for your life.
Hmm.
That's how I look at it.
There is a statistic that I saw that says, and this is based on the US, of course.
Hmm.
The US is widely known as one of the countries with the most millionaires, right?
Right.
And there was a statistic that I saw that 70% of all millionaires in the US did not come from a wealthy family. They came from the ground up.
For sure.
There's a channel that I love to watch on YouTube. It's called School of Hard Knocks. There's this guy who goes around and talk to like entrepreneurs. So he'll go into like the areas where millionaires go hang out and shop and do this and do that. So he'll go on Miami Beach on a Wednesday. On a Wednesday on Miami Beach, people
Hmm.
dining and pulling up in G wagons. I mean, I was in Miami today, in the same area that we're talking about, and
Right.
it's just G wagon after G wagon after G wagon. So what he would do is just go into those areas and ask questions to millionaires, where you worked before, and every single one of them says yes, yes, yes. A lot of them said I come from nothing. My
Right.
father was a farmer. We were raised. We were homeless. We were this. So it tells me then that if you take control of your life, you are the captain of your own fate. If you take control of your life, therefore you can actually become whatever you want to become.
For sure. For
And you were
sure.
able to you were able to do that and kind of steer yourself in a certain direction, not knowing exactly where you're going, but you have an idea. You had a map, right?
Yeah, man. I had a general, and even if I never had an extended roadmap, I understood like a general direction in which I needed to go,
Yeah.
and I also figured out. I also figured out like what delayed gratification meant.
Mm.
You can't just run in on every little trend because you're trying to satisfy feeling good now. you know.
Yeah.
And also, once you kind of figure out purpose, and your purpose, though, as I said, you don't need to have the whole entire map from start to end. You just need to figure out something where you can put your life to purpose and kind of drive towards that. And I'm not going to sit here because again, I'm known for being real. I'm not going to
Yeah.
sit here and tell you that I have it figured out, but we're figuring it out.
Still
We're
figuring it
figuring
out.
it out. Yeah, man, and we're never too old to learn, man. Anybody can teach me anything, man. They don't have to teach
Hmm.
me directly. They just say something or do something. I'm gonna sit back and watch it and say, all right, let me try that. So that is we're figuring it out. We don't have it figured out, and we're not pretending like we have it fully figured out.
Still I work on it.
Of course, for sure.
You said something I just know that I would love to expound on before we look on the next chapter. Delayed gratification.
Yeah.
Because it's a concept that I am still trying to fully understand and fully grasp. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
What does that mean for you, and when did you fully understand delayed gratification?
When did I fully understand it? To tell you honest, God, truth, I had a solid grasp of delayed gratification from I think my university days, but in my adulthood, is when I really hone in on it.
Yeah.
So you have to understand now how my dynamic is. So I'm the first person in my family to really to go to sixth form, much just go to university. So obviously now being the person who has made it, I have responsibility not just to my immediate peer, not just to my parents, but to extended family members, right? And it's a responsibility that I take on with great pride because listen, everybody are gonna make it with me at the helm. Represent again, no. Everybody are gonna make it. Me I go out there, me I go figure it out, and me I come back and tell you what I know for it. You understand? That is just the role that I've taken on. So in my adulthood now, I'm at a point where like bro, we literally can't do anything, bro. But we're not do that.
Yeah.
We're not doing that because it doesn't make sense. Like I put myself way out there and acquire all these things and I haven't built out the foundation to make sure that other people them look. I still have mad love and respect for my grandmother, and my uncles, my father, whatever. I'm not in a position right now where I can make everybody better.
Yeah.
Everybody better instantly right now, but we can make everybody improve gradually. And I can't do that if I don't practice delayed gratification. If I go out there and buy all these things that are these signals of success, I can't do that. You understand? Yeah. And I understand that I'm at the stage right now in my life where I'm not in the pretending, bro. Me just do what me need to do to make sure I say, yo, I live a successful life. And that when I talk to people who are mentor, just my brothers like you, we can talk to you. I say, yo, bro, this are my experience, what are your experience? You know? We're not out here pretend. We're not out here pretend that we're nothing that we're not, you know?
Because in this era of social media and posting and a couple months ago, I can give you this is a personal story.
Right.
A couple months ago, about at least 3 months ago, I find myself in this cycle of getting up and checking my phone and looking on Instagram and because let's be real, especially when you're in sales is like there's peaks and then there are fall offs. Right?
Yes.
And the thing with the peaks is that when you're up there, so it feel like you're invincible.
Magical, bro. You're invisible. Yeah. You're invincible.
You can spend what you want. You can do what you want. Or even if you're not doing it, just the thought that I don't have to think about money. It's a very powerful thought. Right. But then when you're an entrepreneur, when you do business, when you're self-employed, when you're doing these things on your own, especially when you try to figure it out, there are going to be dips. And when it dips, when it dipped for me a couple months ago, not
low stand below.
Low, exactly. I found myself on this cycle where I looked at social media. As I mentioned to you earlier before when we had our conversation, I talked about the gurus. And I would feel bad to say, man, I'm doing something wrong. And it's not that I was doing something wrong. It was just a part of the cycle. Right? So in this era of social media, where success is defined by, what you wear and what you drive and how the amount of vacations you can go on and how much I can spend on a date and things of that nature. Delayed gratification is something that a lot of people cannot grasp. It does not make any sense because horse can't skate pantool.
No.
You get what I'm saying?
No. Yo, you see this thing that you're saying, bro, is a real thing. So I should tell you, I don't pay attention to nobody on social media.
Yeah.
Me. I don't pay attention to nobody on social media, right? Because I understand, and even we do it too. We present our successes, but not our failures, right? And that is how we're wired. And one of the opportunities that I have, and I'm going to call it opportunities, that I did marketing for the first 10 years of my career, first 10 years of my corporate career, right? I understand what it takes to make content. So you see when some of these people are presenting content, if you take a step back and figure out what it is that they did to present that content, it's almost like them are ruining them experience, bro. They are trying to run in the water, but you have to set up a camera and they're ruining the experience, right? So I don't pay attention to anything that's happening on social media. So even my social media posts, when I post things on social media, is about business and going after what it is. I live a fairly good. I live a good life. Right? Yeah. I don't post any of these vacation things on social media, and maybe I should because it's everything is part of life. But I don't post any of these things on social because I'm not trying to create this pressure on anybody who are my peers that they need to be doing these things. Because I can tell you, people benchmark a lot of times, maybe unfairly to themselves, where they are based on where their peers are, people who they went to school with, who are in the same age bracket. They want to stop to that to themselves. All of
Real
us
talk.
are running different journeys, and you just have to focus on something. And again, you have to also acknowledge when it is that you're not doing your best, and when you need to sharpen your skills and reach out to people. And you find genuine people. You don't find people who will use the fact that you're vulnerable and you're asking for help as an ego boost. They find genuine people, and they're genuine people out here who will help you and who will guide you in the right direction. So
Mm-hmm.
I don't listen to these gurus on social media. Yo, social media have a lot of gurus, bro.
Oh man,
Everybody
so
is a guru and an expert on something. And I'm
that's
saying,
true.
why I don't listen to them? I say, yo, stop talk. Show me. Some of them can't show you. They can tell you do this and do that, do that. In my where I am right now, I don't present myself as a guru, and I don't talk about it. I can show you better than what I can tell. I can tell you. So
That's
I just I
actually
just make
good.
I just make my moves. I just make my moves speak for themselves. You understand what I
Speaking
say?
of
Yeah, I
moves,
can
you're right.
show you better. Yeah, I can show you better than I can tell you. So I'm not try to be a talk shop guru on social. We just do the thing.
Just do the thing, man.
Yeah, we just do the
No,
thing.
that makes sense because speaking of moves, when you went to UE in what year was that? Oh 07? No, oh 07 or oh 09,
Oh
sorry.
nine, I went to you in 2009.
When you went to UE in oh 09, what did you study?
Oh, that's the next thing. When I went to you, I wanted to do law. I wanted
That's
to
what
do
I
law,
did.
right? I could not afford it. I could not
Me
afford
either.
it because I went to university at the West Indies on a student loan. And
Mm-hmm.
a student loan. Obviously, I told you, my father is a Rasta man that sell craft on the beach. There's no way I was gonna make it to university because if they were supposed to pay for the tuition. And fortunately for me at that point in time, too, you needed two guarantors to go to university to get a student loan, which was a travesty at that point in time. Because I can tell you, I have at least two people in my year group right now that I cannot forget. I have a good friend when I used to go to
Yeah.
high school. I, I'm wondering if I should even say the person's name. But this girl was brilliant, bro. This girl was brilliant. We went to six arm together, and she couldn't find a guarantor, and she went to work in a hotel. I think she went to work at beaches, and the plan was that she would work a year or two, and then that would put her in a position to go. But we already know, but that is the death trap, bro. When you say you're
Yeah.
going to work, you can't make it back to school, bro. So fortunately for me, the same uncle I was telling you that was starting to do subjects with me in the program. That man made it to be a fireman, and I had a next Uncle Paul, who just became a police officer. They became police officer and a fireman in my family within months of each other. That is like
Perfect.
divine intervention.
Divine
So now
intervention.
they had structured jobs now. You're talking about people who move from merchandise in a one man work on one school out of room to structured jobs just in time to get job letters and that sort of thing in order so that they could sign my SLD to send it to school. That's why
Mm.
if me ever disrespect them too, man, them that something that wrong with me. You see what I say? Something that wrong with me, bro. You see what I say? So yeah, and that is what I needed. So when I did it, and I went on a student loan, and but I just developed this. I just have to make something of myself. I couldn't
Yeah.
go back because there's nothing to go back down there too. So I had to develop that drive, and I just kept it. I just kept
Yeah.
investing in new things, and also it was a part of developing like myself too, like to find out who I really was. Because I mean, as a high schooler, you have some general idea of what some things you like, but really who you are, you don't know those things until you've taken on some responsibilities and that sort of thing. So that is really what I did there.
And gone through a couple of things where never work out in your favor too.
Oh,
You know what
I
I mean?
fail more than yeah, I fail more, far more than I succeed. But I mean, I tell you something. I believe in throwing things on the wall. I just
Yeah.
show things on the wall. Like I have a million ideas about a million things,
If me
and
even
I
show you
just
my
throw
app
them,
right now in them journals. Let
bro.
me show you my journal right now. I'm in notes.
If I show you my notes, bro, my notes is chronic. Yo, this me sure some my notes on this phone worth millions, bro. We have at least 12 business ideas ready to go. It's just like I can't take on all these things.
Yep.
You know?
Understood.
So yeah.
Understood. So you go UE. You didn't get into law because
No, I didn't get into law.
financial
So no, I didn't get into law. I couldn't afford it. I couldn't afford it.
finances.
So I did my first degree in political science and public sector management. I did a double major.
Mm.
Um, if theoretical, but again, depending on how you look at university and the product and output that comes from it. Theoretical, I met some great people. I was tutored and lectured by some excellent lecturers,
Mm-hmm.
scholars, and all those things shape my perspective of the world. To be very honest, I understand some of these theories and disciplines that guide like everyday life structures more than the average because I studied it, you know. So while it wasn't a definitive practical subject, like you know, it really shaped how I view certain things
And I
and
think
how
too
I
sometimes
assimilate and interpret information. You know, is yeah.
it's dependent on that studies, those
Yeah, man,
studies.
for sure, for sure, for sure.
You,
I have to give them that.
you know, it's funny too because you're funny you said that because I mean, I studied law. I did law at UTech, right?
Right, I remember.
No, I don't know if you know this, but I think when you started UTech, UE, sorry, UE just create. Sorry, I keep on the
The
brain.
law
Keep on the
program.
school them. UTech just start the law program when you
Mm-hmm.
started UE. I
Right.
believe it started in '08.
Yeah, man.
So them just started, but understandably. So I wanted to do law at UE as well. And then me look on the tuition and I say like, can't remember the figures, but I remember
It was
1 year was like
huge,
2
man.
million.
Yeah, man.
Like 2
Big
million.
money. Big money.
Yeah. And I was like, nope, no can
Big
do.
money.
No
Big
can do.
money.
So I
Big
didn't
money.
go to UE. I ended up going to UTech. Then just start that. But there was something, I don't really use my law degree now because I'm in business now.
Right.
And but like what you said, the studies that you did, it kind of shape the way you think and the way you see the world and understanding certain things that are happening, you know?
Bro, you know how I use my university degrees, bro? So as I tell you, I did a double major in political science and public sector management, and my master's was in international policy development and management. You know, I use those degrees. I formed a consultancy company called Dynamic Research and Marketing Consultancy, and I use all those theoretical knowledge that I have, and I charge business and government agencies consultancy fees. And I
There
do
you
a lot
go.
of research because a big part of my master's was research based. So I really understand research. That is how I use it. I have to package it in a business in order to use my university degrees in that way. You know, so it was. But again, you know, the shape how you view the world.
It shape how you view the world. It shape how you view
Yeah,
the world.
yeah,
But when you went to you went to university before I did.
yeah.
By the time I got to university, I started university what 2012, right?
Hmm.
Went to Copsey, started UTech in the law program. In 2013-14, I became a member of the UTech Students Union in
Right.
the entertainment department. I guess them some are full of vibes, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Vice man. For a long time, though. From a long time.
From a long
Yeah,
time,
from a long
from a
time.
long
Yeah,
time, from a long
yeah.
time. And I became a member of the UTech Students Union, but I went to the Western campus.
Right.
So we were like a subcommittee of the committee in
Of the
Kingston,
main committee.
of the main committee. But while I'm in the Students Union, somebody mentioned to me, so I said, yo, so the president of the UE Guild is a man in past student? So I said, really? I'm gonna say who. But at the time, I never remember your government name or anything like that. So I didn't know. When them show me the picture, I was like, yeah, I know him. Yada yada yada.
Yeah.
So you became the president of the UE Guild. Now, student union, UE Guild is similar, but the way I see it is UE Guild is an official entity. It's almost like
Yeah,
a
man.
body of government.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Yeah, man.
So how does a young man from Westmoreland with no ties to Kingston per se, with no farmer, rich uncle and rich daddy and stuff like that, get the opportunity to become, and even though your friend manifests it, even though Sarge manifests it on the first 20 minutes, how does that come about for you? Or how did that
Bro,
come about?
it's a systematic process. So again, when it's a step by step process. So when I went to university in 2009, I went to Taylor Hall, right? And I
Hear about it.
chose, yes, no, bro, I chose to go to Taylor Hall because remember when I was at Mannings, I played a lot of volleyball. I was a volleyballer. A lot of the volleyballers went to UE and then they on Taylor Hall. Zine. So that is how I got the plug. So I knew I wanted to play volleyball and I went on Taylor Hall. Cool. I went there. So 2009, 2010 was my first year. And then at the end of that year, you have like student government hall committees, right? I ran for sports representative. I won that election by one vote. One single vote. Zine. I became sports representative of the hall. And I was mentored by a youth named Winston Watson. Winston Watson was sports rep the year before me. And I have to big up Winston because how I look at this thing, bro, is you see when people do something for you, bro, you have to acknowledge them. I said that you they show me the game.
Yeah, man.
You know, a youth named Winston Watson. And I took it over, did an excellent job. And then the better I did at it, the more it shaped who I was. I became a man of my word too. I became a man of my
That's
word.
powerful.
Yeah, man. And me unshakable. You have to just understand it. Unshakable. So I was sports rep at the hall, and I lived on a block called Attica. And I became known for being very fair because no matter what Attica say or whatever it is, everybody can tell I know say, yo, this man now play no anti games. You understand? People develop real trust in my ability to run the thing, run it properly, run it fair. And that when I did that, I did so well that when it was time for the next year to run for the Guild elections, I transitioned to being Games Committee Chairman at the Guild. And the Games Committee Chairman on the student level is a person who structure all intramural sports on campus. So hall against hall and work with the sports department to plan sports on campus. So then you build a platform to facilitate competitive and recreational sports on campus. That's what we do. And
that's a lot.
Yeah, man. No, man. I knocked it out of the park. And you said that sports representative thing. I'm gonna explain something to you, bro. Again, in a divine manifestation. I used to tell people that I was gonna work at Sagicor 6 years before I left university.
Really?
Because yes, there was a football competition on campus that went dormant over 6 years. 6 years before I went to the James Committee Chairman. The competition that was called Champions League football. They play football under the lights. It was formed by Damian Crawford, current Senator Damian Crawford.
Wow.
Dormant. And I restarted it 6 or 7 years afterwards, and I got Sagicor to sponsor it. Then, and
this is at UTech.
At UE. Yeah, Sagicor sponsored it. Big deal. Big deal.
That's a big deal.
Yeah, man, big deal, man. I saw at the point in time, the head of the marketing department at Sagicor was Ingrid Carr, the CEO of Sagicor was Richard Biles. So I've been speaking to these people for a long time in terms of setting up these things. And I developed credible relationship with these people. Like these people were amazed at how a young man like me, because me solid enough. Let me say, yo, me gonna do this and me gonna do it. So I developed from the university's solid corporate relationship with these people. And bro, by the time we done Champions League and we did all the structured thing in gym, I already knew I was going to be vice president of the Guild. Because for you to, again, I developed a reputation of getting things done. I used to tell people that I'm a doer, and I'm a doer. Which is a play on the name. You get me? I'm a doer. Okay. You will get it done. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah. So it's no in my corporate years. I understand that. I know I don't outrank doing overthinking. Because they both strategy and execution is two separate things, and they both carry weight in different areas. And I'm in the capacity that I operate now. I'm more of a strategist than somebody who actually goes out and do things. But that is how I've looked at it. So I think to answer your question, is that building up yourself is a step-by-step process.
Yeah.
And I took all the steps. I don't skip any rungs. I take all the steps. I take all the steps.
You started off as from the ground up. You started get your games
committee chairman at the hall level. Before I became the number one student representing body, I started out at the hall level. So from the ground up, if I want to put it that way, I would not skip any steps.
And you were voted because for people that don't understand, for people that don't know, to become the UE Guild president, it's a pretty much an election where the electoral officials come in like an official election, and you go up there and you write. And I believe you even put the finger under the ink, right?
Yeah, man. You have to do all that, man. You have to do all that. A lot of people don't already know. So these days I don't really comment on and I'm gonna call it guild politics, because I believe that the student leadership, and I don't want to call it student politics because that is where I think they go wrong. Once I start thinking about politics, the student leadership, it is a sandbox, bro. It's a sandbox. That opportunity is a sandbox for you to develop programs that serve the student body, and that in reverse develop yourself as you learn to do things and structure things, right? So I don't overcorrect them at this point in time. They come to me for mentorship and tutelage. I point them in the right direction because in a lot of instances I've already figured out the answers that you're trying to figure out right now. And if they're smart enough to figure out to learn that, hey, some people really know what they're going to do. Touch base with them man there. I will guide them, but I don't overcorrect them because, as I said, it's a sandbox. And it did a lot for me. it did a lot. It did a lot for me because I learned me as a university product, which is a past guild president, compared to the average university graduate is or miles ahead. Because you have to understand what happens at the guild president level. The guild president, I as guild president, I sat on every single committee that university had as a student representative. So disciplinary, academic board. We're not talking about Jamaica alone, regionally.
Yeah.
Right?
Also in the Caribbean itself.
Regionally. So that so I saw the exposures, and you're talking about people who constitute these committees. These people are doctorates and professors, you know. And I, as a young man, had the opportunity to sit in that room and listen to those discussions, and listen to the intellectualization of them, and even understand the game theories that they run against each other, you know. And I learned from it. To be very honest, I learned from it.
It's funny because right now, the current position that you're holding, you are in charge of Jamaica, Cayman Islands, and Costa Rica.
Right.
Correct?
Still regional perspective.
It's still a regional
perspective.
So the UE president role, the UE Guild president role that you had was pretty much preparing you for the role that you have now.
Of course, I have solid relationships, you know, bro, across the region. You know. One phone call, you know, like I can make anything happen. Anything happen right across the region, you know, with a few phone calls.
Like business signal, man.
But yo, bro, I don't know how business signal. When I tell you, I can make anything happen with a few phone calls. If it take me 3 phone calls, it's a hard problem.
It's a tough one.
So we have solid relationships, and again, I mean, I approach these situations. I'm a genuine youth. Then I try to be very genuine with people. There's not a lot of fluff that come with me. You understand?
Good.
Maybe in the initial stages, you know, bro, when we try to figure out ourselves. You understand? But right now, we'll figure it out, bro. We'll figure out who we are. We're trying to figure out life. No, you know. So yeah, we have good relationships, you know, and people appreciate genuine people. So we'll come down to that. Yeah.
Now here's the next one now. So this is where I guess your entrepreneurship started, because you are the founder of Campus Cuts, right?
Right. The co-founder of Campus Cuts. Yes.
Co-founder of Campus Cuts.
Right.
Now you started Campus Cuts with your brother OJ. Why did you start it? I guess is the question.
Why we start Campus Cuts? And let me tell you. You see?
Where was the need?
Where was the need? And let me explain something to you now. So remember when I told you that when I was growing up, I worked on the beach every summer, selling, except the one summer where the gap between sixth form and university. I went to beaches, right?
Yeah.
The first thing I did a construction work first. I was doing drywall first, and then I went to beaches for the last 3 weeks of the summer. Drywall, yeah. I had a construction. My brother named Greg came up on a construction work. I made the drywalling, you know, put up. You know what I said? So the first money I made, I gave my entire paycheck to my brother OJ, to pay for his lifeguard license, because I already knew my brother didn't get enough subject to go to university straight out the bat. You know, as a matter of fact, bigger than that too was that we couldn't afford for 2 of us to go either way. So I went to university and he went to work. So I paid for his lifeguard license. And while I was there at university in the first couple of years, my brother would, like, when he get paid, he would send me a little money. Yeah. And so I was at school. I went to school 2 years before my brother went. And I think the first time my brother met in a bike accident, I broke him 2 hands. I'm going to say, yo, come. Yeah, come. I went down to Westmoreland and I cut off the cars off him and using an Axstar blade. I said, yo, come, you go to school. And I enrolled him in pre-UE and Taylor Hall. But my brother was always a talented barber. So what we started to do now was it was always a talented barber. My brother was skill youth, you know. So he started to trim people in the bathroom stall on a coconut stump on Taylor Hall. And he was so good that people would come to him, like there would be lines out there, you know. So
really?
Yeah, man, lines out there, man, because my brother he reached a point where my brother started to structure his class around trimming clients, you know. And when we saw that, Yeah, and that is how we supplemented our like living expense because obviously we don't have parents or family members who can send money can give us every 2 week or every month or whatever it is. So we used to use that barbershop money to buy groceries and then I mean what about veggie chunks and I don't eat veggie chunks today. Due too much veggie chunks me eating mega university. Yeah, so that's what happened and then so he trimmed in the bathroom stall and then I wrote a business proposal. My brother and I were like tight, tight, and the perfect yin and yang too. Cause my brother done the book work and intellectualization and them thing there. Him left them thing, and me deal with them thing there. I know to negotiate with people. Me know to strike hard deals. Me know to formalize things, and my brother just make it happen on the ground. So I wrote a business proposal to the student services and development manager for Taylor Hall at the point in time. My brother named Atal Hamilton. Um, Asking him to take over like a bathroom stall that was there, and he gave us the approval. And my brother and I borrowed a sledgehammer, and we took the sledgehammer to the bathroom, lick out everything. We lick out the stall, we did everything. We learned. We initially I was gonna say we tiled the floor, but that was not the first thing we did. We put linoleum on the floor first, and then my mother had sent some money to pay our hall fee. I'll never forget. And we use the hall fee money to open the barber shop. Remember the hall fee must be August, for the September to December semester, for the whole year really. And we use the hall fee money, bro, open the barber shop. We buy second-hand barber chair, we buy the wood for the cabinet and make the frame and the glass and everything. We buy everything with the hall fee money. And then we just say, yo, we have to make back the money, brother. Yeah, so we put the entire hall fee money in the barber shop. We didn't pay the hall fee for the entire first semester, so we owed you for the entire first semester. And then by second semester January, we made back enough money to pay the first semester off. So we just owed them for the second semester, and then we continued from there. And that is what it is. So, I mean, as I said, Campus Coach right now is just a testament to being creative. We have to survive, so we have to do something. Yeah.
I mean that make a lot of sense. How many locations you have now?
So we have 5 locations now. 5 locations. So we consistently grow this thing organically too. There's no debt in that business. I mean, so as I said, we just keep looking at the opportunities and we just keep expanding it. And Campus Coast really right now, from where I sit, is just my brother's legacy. I protect it out of my brother's legacy.
Yeah.
Because that is my brother's legacy, and I protect it with everything. So it's a cycle.
For those who don't know, your brother tragically passed away. What year was
Yeah,
it?
motor vehicle accident. That's the 2009, but 2019. But I mean, I may be wrong. It's not something that for my own mental health, it's not something that I dwell on because how tough it was. The first 3 years after his passing was tough. Tough for me, tough for the business, tough for everybody. But I figured out how to cope with it. And I just, as I said to you earlier, a man dies twice, the time he actually leaves the earth, and the second and the last time somebody call his name. So I intend for my brother's name to be called a long time. And I protect, grow and nurture Campus Coach, which was his baby. Just out of legacy. This was a legacy, so
it's called Campus Cuts, but really
yes, Campus Coast Barbershop. Yeah, man, for sure. Campus Coast Barbershop and Salon. So, support Campus Coast Barbershop and Salon,
Yeah, man. So is this open to UE students?
Everybody. Everybody. Anybody can go. So we have 5 locations that are across the UE and UTech campus. The 3 locations at the UE campus. Yes, UTech.
Oh, I know.
No, you get it. You see me I say?
Yes.
Yeah. All right. So UE and UTech campus. So anybody can go to any one of these locations and get services. Students, staff, outsiders, anybody can go. So that is how it's set up.
That makes sense. So
yes, sir.
You use your connection to start that business. Now, most recently, I saw on your social media where you've started 876 DNA. Now, we are Jamaicans, and when we see it's a AI powered DNA
Testing, yeah.
Well, we'll get into that part there, but I guess let me do a little bit of an intro, I guess, because this is what I grasp from it. Zine, we are Jamaicans, and we are aware that a bunch of people get jacket, as we call it. But Mari would have say you are not the father.
Right.
So I can understand where the need comes in. So can you tell us a little bit more about the 876 DNA and how it works and who the business is for?
But for sure. So 876 DNA test is the name of the business. And literally, if you dial 876 DNA test, you get us. So, and I probably should start from there because, bro. So as I was telling you, but I'm a consummate learner. I spend a lot of time reading and learning and that sort of thing. I was literally on YouTube, scrolling. I feed my brain information constantly. And I saw this pop up, and I looked at it. I saw something pop up about the internet, and I looked at it. And then I have this thing where I go down rabbit holes, like deep research rabbit holes. And then I start looking in the Jamaican market, and I'm like, but this is something I could do. And I have this thing, This is just me. I am a confident youth. You understand what I say? If you're better than me, you don't have to tell. You can't tell me. You have to show me. So you're better than me. That's how me operate. See? Yeah. You have to show me. You're better than me. That's something. Yeah, man. You can't tell me, but you have to show me. So you're better than me. And I looked at the market. I'm like, I seen a few people doing some things, and I made the mystery call and I called a few things. I'm like, yo, there's a big gap here. So I started to look at it. I came up with this idea seriously and launched this business within 6 weeks.
Within 6 weeks.
Within 6 weeks.
Within 6 weeks of you finding out, or should I say, working up on the thing on YouTube.
Within 6, I'm gonna tell you something. Within 6 weeks of me bucking up on the idea and say, well, this is something that I can do. I registered the business, bought the domain, built the website, figure out the lab partners, and got my first article in the newspaper to say, hey, I've launched DNA test.
That is being efficient.
And I did everything. I designed the website myself, the AI that you see on there, I code it myself. I'm going to learn to code it. I designed every single art. I did everything. YouTube. So this is when people tell me, that them can't do something, bro. When they can't do something, I say, you don't want it enough, bro. You don't want it enough. You don't try hard enough. You don't have enough pressures on your shoulder. Like I'm really. Me I try to change my life. I understand me saying. I try to change my life. As I try to tell people, I pretend to figure it out. I figure we try to figure it out. You understand? And I recognize that it's going to take some work to do it. And like I put in hours now. My days are 16-hour days daily. 16 hours a day, 7 days a week, daily. And I'm not saying, I'm not encouraging people to do that. But I recognize that based on the fact that I'm trying to do something, I don't have a blueprint. As I said, and I come from a structured family, I don't have a blueprint. I'm creating the blueprint, and I don't know what will work. So I try a number of things. Yeah. And it requires this level of investment from a time basis to make these things happen because I'm doing so much things. So that is what it is.
No,
but 876 DNA test. Yeah, but the deliberate answer to your question, 876 DNA test at this point in time is probably Jamaica's largest DNA testing company by volume and distribution. And what I mean by that is by volume, as a DNA testing company, we test the most tests in Jamaica. And by distribution, we have the most locations because the business model is different. So most DNA testing companies have a few brick and mortar locations. We partner with medical doctors island-wide. So anybody call 876 DNA test, we have a facility within half an hour of where you are, right? Wow. Yes. I will collect the DNA samples and I will send them off to our accredited lab partners and I will send you your results via email. And you can pay online using the debit or credit card. There are a number of things that no DNA testing company in Jamaica is doing and can do right now that we are doing. And we don't only test paternity tests, which is a father against a child. We do relationship testing too. So you can test siblings against each other to prove whether or not they have the same father. Or you can test if a father is unavailable or unwilling, you can test the father's mother or father or brother or sister, or even or even cousins to determine those sort of things. We can do all those things. And we also do them internationally. So for example, let me give you a big example on why this company is so different. You have people who live overseas, right? Who
Right.
want to establish or confirm whether or not they are biologically related to people in Jamaica. And we can send anybody in the United States, UK, Canada to one of our testing partners in any one of these areas to collect their DNA sample and send any one of these persons to Jamaica, irrespective of which parish they are, to collect the DNA sample. We can tell you the answer in 14 days without them needing to travel.
Wow.
So it's a very dynamic company, and it's going great. Sometime when I recognize that this thing come out of my brain, I can do a laugh.
The thing about it, because everything what you say in terms of you learning the disciplines of leadership
Yeah,
and being able to identify certain little things, everything that you've said, pretty much you've been working your way up to this.
yeah, man. It's a
Pretty
build up.
much you've been working your way up to this because this is a business that now transcends just your local Jamaican demographic. It transcends that. It becomes something that, because in a digital age, people don't want to necessarily have to physically go somewhere. And in cases, for example, when there are people looking for paternity tests for the purpose of, filing to migration, they don't
Right.
want to travel. At that point in time, they can easily call 876 DNA and they
Call
get a test.
876 DNA test. Call our WhatsApp us. 24 hours a day, there's somebody monitoring that contact center line.
Wow.
We can start it out. We can start it out for you. And you said it's a lead up. Let me explain to you what the big lead up is, bro. Remember I told you earlier about this regional network of people, right? Who are having Makana, who they call me, I call them.
Yeah.
Like this place, not a local plane, as you can see now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we start in Jamaica, our core market in Jamaica, but I just told you that we serve people right across the world.
Right.
I'm gonna go take over every Caribbean country. No, you know this, Take it from me, let me tell you this, Every Caribbean country. Because I built this company on a business model that was meant to be agile. And what do you think I did when I came up with this? I recognized, this is how it works in Jamaica. I took up my phone. I called my colleagues in Barbados, I called my colleagues in Trinidad, and I say, yo, me need this, and this happen. Say less prezi. They call me president still. Say less prezi. That's all they say. Say less prezi. Consider it done. You understand? That is how the thing work. Yeah. That is how the thing work. I mean, so if you nurture good relationships, you'll get results from them. But I should also tell you, and I'm going to do this without again calling names. So two of the most heartbreaking experiences that I've had since I've started this journey with 876 DNA is also with people who I consider peers. Because I approach. So as I explained to you before, how we distribute DNA testing is largely to partner with medical doctors. So one, you need to talk to doctors, and obviously we went to school with people who are bright people, who some of whom became doctors. True. And bro, to what the most, I'm gonna call it the most sharkish discussions I've had and experiences I've had in terms of trying to grow this business is with people who went to school with doctors. So it's a balance, bro. No matter how well they are, one person want equity in my company if you introduce me to two doctors. And one person who want exclusive distribution and want to determine how the whole entire thing. And I'm like, so it's a balance.
They thought you were ignorant. I'm thinking, I know how these are structured and all these.
I mean, I think people should know. I think people should know this about me. If you watch from afar, you know that I'm not a fool. Your boy know things.
Yeah, man.
Your boy know things. That's why you know that. I'm not a fool. I know things. You understand? There are those things that I'm not paying attention to right now. I can't give my focus right now. I know a lot of things. And if I don't know it in detail, I know who to call. Because again, I have this network that I can tap into. And these people will guide, there are people who would do things just because I make a phone call. So, but I think it was hard. It was a good experience. It was difficult for me to receive that level of feedback from people I consider peers, maybe because I don't operate that way, and it was just so shocking, that mindset. But I just have to understand that this is so we just have to navigate through life. I
mean, throughout life, throughout life on this journey that we're on, there will be disappointments. There will be people who don't believe in the dream. You know, in your case, you know, after explaining this to these particular persons, they saw, again, they know what you're capable of as well,
You know,
right? And
bro, you know how I'm gonna look at this, bro? These people are gonna see the success of what I'm doing. They're gonna see it. You understand? So they must see the success of what I'm doing. So I'm not gonna engage. I'm not gonna engage in negativity.
yeah,
They will just have to see the results and know that they could have been. They could have helped me. You could have helped me, bro. You could have helped me. That's all.
you know, we're all up on a journey. You know, we're up on a journey,
Mm-hmm.
and there are persons who will be accessory in the journey, and
Right.
there are also people who will teach you a lesson.
Yes.
And
Yes.
it is what it is. It is what it is. But the most important thing is that, you know, when I think about my particular journey, when I think about my life and the places I've worked and the experiences I've had, I mean, my first job was my first time working ever, outside of the family business, that is,
Mm-hmm.
was Applebee's in North Carolina. In
Yes.
2013, when I got youth tech, we come
You,
up and
you,
work
you
and
know you know
travel.
I can travel.
Work and travel, man. Work and travel, man. Come on, America, come
Yes,
work
I
as a
mean, G.
dishwasher.
What you mean, G?
Dishwasher. May I tell you, say, you know, you feel like you take and you're law student or a big, you know, attorney at law to pending,
Yeah.
right?
Designate.
Come on,
Yeah.
America. Oh, yeah. Now, come on, America. Dishwasher.
Yeah.
And when that was a great experience for me because I get to learn some trials and tribulations of life.
Right.
Of life. It don't have anything to do with the academic side of things, just life. And after I have that experience that I went on in between semesters or school years, you know, first year, second year, I worked at some call centers. I think
Mm-hmm.
work with Netflix, chat center. I work for Xerox, you know, just to make some money during summertime, things like of that nature. And when I think about that entire path, there were little nuggets and little things along the line. Customer service, for example, that I learned during these experiences that I then transcend over to sales because sales require customer service. It is a
Yes.
fundamental part of the process. Being able to have conversations and network with people. You know, we have a rule in sales. It's make a friend, make a sale, right? For somebody to buy from you, people buy from people they like. These are
Yeah.
simple little
The
nuggets and
relationship
little.
driven business.
It's a relationship driven business. It's
I
not the
adapt that
best
mantra too.
price. It's not the best product. Can I trust you?
Right.
Point blank. And
I adapt
so
that mantra too.
it is a mantra that I live by, and I realize that these little things that you pick up along the way, even as much as something as simple as you said something earlier. You said in the summer when you never actually go up on the beach when you work at beaches, you did drywall before you go
Right.
beaches,
Right.
right? And when you go campus cuts, what you do?
Bro. It's, yo, as I was explaining to you, bro, in some of these business ventures that I run, right? So, for example, look at 876 DNA test. All right. So, this business is largely logistics
Yeah.
and DNA testing, but it also requires a large component of marketing, right?
Mm.
So, for the first 10 years of my career here at Sagicor, I did marketing, right? And I did marketing, we do marketing for bank, investments, credit card, life insurance in Jamaica, Cayman, Costa Rica. I really know marketing, right?
Yeah.
And so are we talking about marketing from traditional to digital? I have deep digital marketing experience.
Yeah.
Display right here is me culminating all that experience and monetizing it. That's why I tell you I don't listen to experts online because anybody can say anything online. Can you come up with an idea, structure it, synthesize it, and implement it, and then monetize it? And anybody can show you a course as to how to do that, but can you do it? Have you done
That's
it?
the question.
So
That's the question.
and that is where the money is. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's where the money
I
is.
mean, a lot of people, and I say this to say to whoever that is watching this video right now, be careful of the gurus online. There's one particular person, I won't get into the details of it, but they were selling a course on how to essentially rent a property and then sublet it as an
Sublet it.
Airbnb, as a Airbnb, right? And it was a big thing because you're like, oh, this is how you can become an Airbnb host without actually owning property.
Right.
And I remember my wife saw it and she liked it and she was looking at the concept. But when I listen to them talk, and I'm like, the knowledge that they're giving the people is basic information: how to start a LLC, or how to get a LLC, how to get a bank account. I mean, this is basic information, right? Fast forward about a year later, because my tell us that don't make no sense. That is a waste of money. So we decided not to go into that business. Fast forward about a year and a half later, there was a big article online about those people being a scammer. So I'm listening to them now because they did an interview. Because they blew up. A lot of people don't know, they don't understand, them blow up. A year and a half later, I was watching a video and they came across and they were talking about them being scammers. They did another interview. And on the interview, them asked them about them income. So them say them make like $2 million a year.
Right.
Bro, I kid you not. Them ask them this is the answer. Them say per year, out of the $2 million, they've made about $200,000 in Airbnb income. The other $1.8 million was earned by selling courses.
Right. And how to do it.
On how to do. You made $200,000
from the core business.
From the core business, and $1.8 million by selling courses. I say this to people: there's a lot of information online,
bro.
There's a lot of gurus, but be very careful with who you buy into.
Me I go tell you the answer to that, bro. There's nobody in the world who have something we make money and sell it. What may I say?
I give him a secret.
They're not sell a secret, bro. So if you're selling you something, the product is the sale. Are you the product?
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? This thing about it. Are you the product? You think me I come on here so and tell you we run a DNA testing company for me invest millions of dollars start and figure it out. Say this is a course and how you run a DNA testing company. No, bro, nobody who understands something that run will take it and sell it. That make no sense. Nobody. You talk to any rich person, anybody with money, bro. That's how it works.
Them not gonna give you them secret.
No, we protect that secret, bro. You know how much steps I've taken. I consider myself serious reverse engineer. I can reverse engineer a lot of things, right? Because I have enough background knowledge to understand how things work in the back end. So you have things that people see and then things that people have, right? You know what steps I've taken to protect this business from being easily reverse engineered?
Mm-hmm. Them can't just simply start with another version of it.
And you want the packaging that course I sell you for $9.99? They're crazy, man. They're crazy. So, as I said, be careful of the gurus. You want to talk to people who have genuine interest, and not because some people will help you because it is in their best interest. But not because it is in their best interest, it don't mean that it also is not in your interest. Because self-interest and altruism are not polar opposites, always. There is a part in which they align.
Yeah.
That is where the sweet spot is, right? Where your best interest aligns with somebody else's best interest. So that is called collaboration. Because most people believe that competition is what it is, bro. Only the people at the bottom compete, bro. So the people at the top are collaborating.
Gosh. You just hit the nail. You just step on some corner while ago.
Brother, the people then we are competing in the bottom of the ladder. People who are at the top, bro, we are collaborate, bro. We have to collaborate. A collaboration and name my game.
All right. This week, couple days ago, about 2 days ago, I was in. Are you familiar with Southwest Ranches in Florida?
You didn't hear that?
You're familiar with Southwest Ranches in Florida?
Yes, for sure. What do you mean, bro?
Okay. If you're familiar with Southwest Ranches or whomever watching this video is familiar, this is a very wealthy area.
Yeah, man.
Matter of fact, this is where the whole Sean Kingston thing went.
Money in that area there.
Yes. Average property value here is probably like $5 to $10 million, right? I had an appointment down there this week, and I was having a conversation with the husband, and me and my reason. This is the same exact thing he said, right? Matter of fact, I'm going to mention this. I'm already telling him I'm sending the podcast. I hope you not cut off my head because I talk about him, right? But
make it script same piano.
Yeah. Script.
Yeah.
Cut out the part, yeah.
Protect it.
But ultimately, well, actually, he's American. He understand Patois. We're talking a Patois now, right?
For sure.
But
for sure.
We had this conversation. We had the conversation here, and what we were talking about essentially was the fact that our people, and by our people, I'm talking black people, right? Quite often we feel the need to compete against each other, right? But we don't feel the need and we don't understand the concept of collaboration. Give you an idea. I started a solar. I've been in solar for years. I started a sales organization to sell solar windows and roofing. Home improvement, massive play here in
Massive
America.
market.
Massive market. I have a brethren, I'm not gonna call him name, but
For sure.
he's also in the business, right? And I said to him, you're in the business, I'm in the business. We are both experienced persons. We understand how we build a team, we understand how we sell, we understand how we maybe we don't know everything about structure in the business. And I said to him, look, I've started the business. I have everything set up. I have all the financing partners. I have everything. All I need from you is to collaborate with me and let's build a team and let's grow the team.
Right.
And it went on for a little bit, until me realized he lost interest to
Right.
an extent. What I found out that he did during that time period is he went ahead and partnered with another company to sell on his own. The reason why I say all this to say is I say all this because at that point in time, we would have been a force if we collaborated properly.
Right.
But because you are now to an extent competing with me, then it dwindled down and it now really grew like it's supposed to.
Right.
You know what I mean? The power of collaboration is ridiculous, and this is what the people at the top do.
Yeah, bro, and also the people at the top understand that 100% of a grape is less than 10% of a watermelon, bro. You have to grow these. You have to grow big entities, whole small stakeholders and stakeholders. And you know what Steve Jobs equity holding in Apple is, bro.
I actually don't know. So
Bro, go look. Go look. A mini huge percent. Google it, bro. Google it, bro. And you know what that share. You know what those shares are valued, bro.
Isn't it the most?
Let me try to explain to you, bro. The people everybody want own 100% of the thing, bro. What we need to do is find solid collaborators. You understand?
I swear.
We need to find solid collaborators, bro, and share equity, ownership, responsibility, and accountability. You understand? You just assume me I try to tell us, bro. You see me I try to tell us. A Tim Cook we are talking about, that man who found the company we are talking about.
No, Steve Jobs.
Steve Jobs, yeah, matter what Tim Cook. Steve Jobs, that man who found the company we are talking
He
about.
doesn't own 1%?
Bro, you see me I try to explain to you. But you know what? Look, but Apple is actually under the company, bro.
What is 0.2 per? So what I'm seeing here, he owns about 0.24%.
Bro, so look what me I try to explain to you, bro. Elon Musk is the single largest shareholder in Tesla at this point in time. But again, in the 100% full ownership of what we keep on talking about, that is what is stifling accountability and collaboration. And we need to retrain our minds on that. Obviously, if you want to collaborate with people, you want to collaborate with people who have similar integrity. As I said,
Strategic partnerships.
Yes, you need strategic partnerships, right? So, first and foremost, my first litmus test is integrity. Me. My first litmus test is integrity. I don't play around with my reputation.
I agree.
Right? And I've adapted this position a long time before I was a justice of the peace. I think me being a justice of the peace is a symptom of or an outcome of me operating that way and integrity. My reputation is the most. If me tell us, say, yo, that, trust me, that. You understand? We have no need for growing. Yeah. We don't no need for growing upon them levels there. Or that sort of game. And we also don't encourage people to grow on us too. Because let's put it that way. We operate with integrity, but we're not fooling at the streets,
Yeah.
So I mean, integrity. You have to partner or collaborate with people with integrity. And once integrity is lacking, then it becomes an issue. So once you find somebody who align that way, collaborate.
Collaboration, I believe collaboration is very important, and the collaboration sometimes comes from, and we take it even back now, because we mix it all together real nicely.
Mm-hmm.
The collaboration sometimes comes best with some of the people that you've started with in high school, primary school, because these are the people who the come up is with them.
The come up is with them. These are people who, man. Some people pretend some people can sustain pretentious characters for a while, you know. But
Yeah.
if you have relationships that are forged over years, then you understand who these people are at a microcosm level, who they
Mm-hmm.
are, you know, and you know who will do what and who will. So I mean, definitely. As I said, I have some. You see, me, I'm nothing but proud of the people them who I come up with, who I see, you know, doing it.
Yeah.
People doing different things and different level, different things. You can't be some people doing big because it's not for you to compare like that. You know, people figuring out different ways, people doing in different things. And how I look at it, you know, I don't want I just want the people to be the best at people should be the best at what they are.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. My lawyers are my brethrens. I mean I try to be an expert at law. That's why you're a lawyer. So you gotta be the best liar. So when time me need you, I can come to you. You say me, I gotta be the best businessman. I can structure business deals. I can put it together. I can run research. When you need that, you come to me. Me is supposed to be the best at that. So one time you need it to come to you. You're supposed to be the best sales at what you sell. So when I need you, I'm not trying to. That is how the network works.
Yep.
You understand? So
Yep.
be the best so that you can add serious value to the network that you're a part of.
Real talk.
And that is how it's supposed to work. You
That
understand?
is how it's
Because
supposed to
you
work.
don't need to be the best. You don't need to be. This concept of everybody trying to be a generalist, a jack of all trade, master of none. Even though the full statement is jack of all trade, master of none, but still better than, you know, but
Master
still
of
better than
one.
a master of one. You understand? Even though the full, because I one thing, you know, we can't, we're not just out here talking soundbite conversations, you know, because we have to lead with thought, you know, and
Yep.
information
Intelligence.
and intelligence, and we just presented that, you know, most people will stop at statement like that, but we know better that it's still deeper than that,
Yep.
you know. So, um, you know, that is just the whole idea. I mean, we want to collaborate with people who operate with the same level of integrity and people who invest time and thought in developing and honing their skills so that when your network is leaning on your skill, it is the best skill they get in, you know, and
Yeah.
they should reciprocate the same, you know.
A
So that
hundred
is,
percent.
you know, yeah.
You know, I saw a thing in the I believe it was the Gleaner, where you said,
Mhm.
I appreciate my grandmother even more now.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man.
So after all of these things, I mean, don't get me wrong, I feel the same way when my mother used to say this and say that, and at the time I felt some type of way. But at the time when your grandmother scolded you and I tell her, say, you know, I want the best for you. How did you feel then? And now that you've
Bro,
become an adult, and
I have a
you know,
story to tell you, bro. Yo, I have a story to tell you. Yo, I'm going to preserve this, bro, because, yo, I mortality is a hell of a thing, right? And I know, like I feel it in my bones that I don't have much more time with my grandmother. My grandmother is quite senior and she's quite ill.
mm-hmm,
But why you preserve this for the record, bro? You see, when I was a young youth, I used to watch. We used to have one of them big back TV. I'm telling you, a five hour we grew up in the house, right? And I can even tell you the programming. You used to, on Sunday, you used to have Ilang Gully Ride. First of all, early you have Royal Palm, Ilang Gully Ride. Before you have well in the night you have Bold and Beautiful. Then you have then you have Profile, and then you have Primetime News. I tell you, is it right? My grandmother, me used to sit down in the living room, bro. I would have 5 hour run, 4 boy picking and 1 little girl. We grandmother raised all the way. And my grandmother telling me from me, a young youth, from me at 10, 11, 11 year old, say me I go come from Profile when he ain't born on it. This one time me come from Profile, bro. Me drive go Westman and go sit down beside my grandmother. My grandmother have a stroke and watch that with my grandmother. And me I say, Mom, you remember when you used to tell me, say, one time me a little youth say, me I go come from Profile. Who did you know this? My grandmother tell me that from me, bro. Me I tell you, Miss Susie
and
tell me that. I me remember, and
that's
because of them
crazy.
remember. Because of them remember. And it's not like I deliberately set out to go on Profile. You understand? And I'm still in there that I literally drove from Kingston to go to Westmoreland, sit up on my grandmother's bed, and watch her. All she do was smile, because she don't talk much because she has a stroke. All she was doing was smiling. So since this is my grandmother, let me tell you something. My grandmother, I can't even add words to that woman. So my grandmother I think had the foundation to our family. And you see that day
The
when
rock.
yeah, And I know our family dynamic will change significantly. And that eventual day, but there's nothing I can do to repay my grandmother. There's nothing I can do. Nothing I can do. And I give credit to a lot of people because as I tell you, I come across a lot of people. Make it hold by help, man, bro. I hold by help, get
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Hold it by help, man. Hold it by help. And as you can see in my conversations, I mention people and big up people. But I get hold by help. Hold it by help, my father. I saw my father do it. My father never had a hold it by money, but I had a father. I want you to understand. I'm very consistent, man. Understand? Yeah, because bro, I got $200 a day to go to school from I was in grade 3 to I was in upper 6. I can tell you that $200 a day. Zine, me and my brother OJ would leave from my grandmother house Friday night and go to my father house in Negril in Saturday, from Burnsville to Negril. And then we would go on Saturday to the beach to sell Saturday and Sunday. And on Sunday night, my father would give my brother $1,000 and me $1,000 and give a bus here for our grandmother. I would do this week in, week out. So we get the $1,000 up front and we spend $200 for it. I mean, I tell you, I did this from grade 3 to grade 6, $200. I wouldn't think that we get $200. There was never a lot of money, right? But bro, that man consistent. At one time in my years, me ever go down there and him say, yo, me not have it. And like, it was a shocker. It was a shocker. Like, what we are going to do? Eventually, we got school, But me I say one time in my years. So I know the people who contributed. And if it was small, I mean, when I went to university, I had a lecturer named Christine Cummins. See, bro. Christine Cummins is the very first class I went to do, and run military class. I mean, touch the wrong door. Christine come on, a brown woman, stern, But I want to let you know, this is also part of my when I was going to school, bro, obviously I never had the money. And I figured out that the lecturers they'd get their book grants. And I figured it out. Christine and I figured it out. The lecturers would get their book grants, and then they'd book grants from the university are part of the compensation. And they go to the university bookshop and then they buy books that would be needed to support the course material. And they'd ask a question in the class, and anybody who get the answer right will get a book. Bro, me figure that out. In my entire, remember I told you I went to University of West Indies for a master's and undergraduate degree. And in my entire years at the University of West Indies, I bought one textbook with my own money. I figured out that the people would give away a textbook, bro. And all you needed to do was be prepared. I was the most prepared. Because, bro, me can't afford a book there, and uno have to go, as me tell you earlier, if you better than me, you have to go show me,
You have to go show me.
You have to go show me. No, but start telling me, you have to go show me, say better than me. If you better than me, because I'm a G. You better. I was the most prepared. I won book. I can't even tell you how much books I won in Christine Cummins' class. I never paid for a single book. Zine, and I had other lecturers who did the same thing. Dr. Jermaine McAlpin, Camilo Thiem, Iris Coburg, Maxine Henry, who is the former Minister of Education, was also one of my lecturers. They all did the same thing because I figured out the strategy. That is how they use to get people engaged in class. And I was the most prepared because I can't afford that book. And someone can't afford this book, but you have to go prepared, you have to go be more prepared than me and sharper than me because I'm going to go away with that book. That's so between that, so even the other day, Christine Cummins is a retired woman right now. I still call her and check on her. Other day when I launched 876 DNA test, you know what Christine Cummins is, bro? Christine Cummins come in my office, because everybody know at Sagicor, when Dr. Cummins come, I say Terron Dewar, whether I'm in a meeting, call me. Send her up. You understand? Yeah, me go hug her and say, Doc, in a meeting I can't talk to you, but that is good enough for me because we have to give back respect you. True, this lady, bro, when I launched 876 DNA test, she read it in the paper. You know what this lady did, bro? This lady bought Sonia King's book, Jacket. There's a book written by Sonia in Jacket in Jamaica. And it's a book the lady can't come give me, bro.
Wow.
It's a book the lady can't come give me and say, read this. So now,
it's called Jacket.
The book is called Jacket.
Wow. Say less. I understand.
No, the book called Jacket.
I understand.
You see me saying the woman carry the book come give me, bro, and it just remind me of how much book. I was explaining to this lady how much books I won in her class. Because she lectured me a number of courses, and to be very honest, I also tutored a number of courses for her. Because remember, when I left university, I did some adjunct lecturing and some tutoring. And I tutored almost everyone across the incoming course. Introduction to politics, introduction to Caribbean politics, theories of the state, science. I tutored all those courses. She gave me major opportunities. Not only did I had the opportunity to learn from her, win the books in her classes, but she also gave me the opportunity to tutor these courses, which was integral for me. Because when I did my master's, I did it in what we call a graduate assistant program, which is almost like a scholarship. You tutor and lecture certain courses, and they basically that cover your school fee along with a little stipend that they give you. But as we say, we get whole heap of help. We get whole heap of help, and we just have to help people along the way. So me not around for mentor people. I have so much mentees right now, I can't even keep track of them.
No, but you see, that's I say all this to say because everything, your journey throughout your life and where you are today, there were people who helped you along the way, and that is literally what this platform is about.
Yeah,
we are about helping to shape the next generation because we had certain experiences. I mean, I said this because, as you mentioned earlier, we are trying to figure this thing out.
We're gonna figure it out. We try to figure it out.
But there are people who, based on what we know now, that couldn't use the information.
And why would you? And this is one next thing too. Why would we allow some of these people, if they come with the right approach and attitude, to go learn some of these lessons that we've already learned? We already know the answer.
Yeah.
So if them humble enough, we know the answer. Yo, no do that, no do that, do this. And this is why you should do it. Because obviously, that's where some of us fail. In that we tell people what to do, but we don't explain why they should do it. We don't honor them intellect. You have to treat people like you have to respect people's ability to understand explanation rather than dictate positions.
You're right.
But again, I mean, we've learned from the best. We learn from the best. Some of the best people them. Whether or not them directly teach you or they don't directly teach. Because even me, I'm one of the youngest persons in this company right now at this level that I'm at, right?
Yeah.
If not the youngest, but when I hang up myself on that. And the way how we get to these spaces is, but we learn. I can tell you, we learn. And we adapt. We learn and we adapt. And I can never forget. I dress in a suit every day to go to work.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you have the opportunity to look on my Instagram, if I don't know if it's private, I dress in a suit. I mean, I have so much suits I can't even keep track of them. But I am not a dresser. I don't love dressing up. I don't do it. I prefer to wear t-shirts and sweatpants. I don't love dressing up. But then I remember when I just became marketing manager for Sagicor Life in Jamaica and Cayman, the primary stakeholders in the room that I had to interface with were all grown men. All of them could be my father. Every one of them in the room could be my father. So I sit in these boardrooms with these gentlemen who could be my father. And I, as this young youth, brilliant, but me wear white shirt and pants. No, I don't match their aesthetic. These are all people with luxury vehicles because bro, exist in a lucrative space.
Yeah.
See, bro, and I recognize it don't matter how I explain brilliantly how we're going to approach these problems and whatever it is. It's as if them hear me, bro, but they never dare hear me. But remember, I tell you that I have this thing where I sit back and I introspect my environment and myself. I do it very often.
Yeah.
I try to be very conscious of, myself and how I impact and interact with people. And I made some key changes. One of them is to match their aesthetic, right? So from that day forward, I dress how they dress, right? No, I don't do the full button up, because if you look, I don't wear the black and blue suits like them, because I'm still a young and vibrant person who have my own approaches and thought processes and some of these things.
Right,
and I reflect that in how I carry myself. But I had to do that, and then I became a little bit more assertive. So yes, you guys are the experts at sales. At the point in time, the capacity I feel was marketing. And I invest so much time in my craft that I say, I'm telling you something. I best at that, So I would never ever go telling you over to this, But you say, this what me I do, when you understand, say, bro, me are the best at this.
Yeah, man.
Because I invest, you hear people say you have to invest 10,000 hours if you want to become an expert or something. Bro, me invest 10,000 hours every 10,000 hours. When 10,000 hours come, I restart the clock.
Yeah.
I understand I'm so serious about these things, though.
Yeah, I understand.
So one time me tell you, say, take that direction there. Me not say me can't, but more you know say, Me I give the best opportunities for right, you know, because I'm gonna invest in for knowing this, because I don't like being wrong. You know?
I understand. No,
Yeah,
you're right, you know.
yeah,
Because
yeah.
a man tell me this, and a man say, yo, you know, there's 1,000 years of experiences out there that you can get. Especially, I mean, it's mentorship in
Yeah.
the form of books.
Yeah, man, books. Yeah,
When
the
I
most
read a
powerful
book
thing, bro.
like,
It's a
yeah,
book and
man,
podcast, bro.
yeah,
Bro,
man,
remember the man them a decode years of them life, you know. Some people take years to learn these things, you know, bro. And the man then give a cheat code of putting it in a couple pages in between two
for
covers, you know. All you
$20.
need to do, bro, all you need to do is take time and read it, you know.
For $20, you know?
For $20, brother. Bro, just think about it, man. The man they take years, you know, to come across something, you know, to
Think
synthesize
and
something,
Grow
you know.
Rich by Napoleon
Bro,
Hill.
you know how long it take the man to get the experience must to write that?
Rich Dad, Poor Dad.
Bro, and the man sell it for $20 online, bro. And you don't recognize that you can shortcut your path to success by take up the book and read the book, bro.
Yeah, man.
Bro.
You know,
And again, bro, that's why I'm not sorry. That's why I'm telling you, you know, the people who don't take control of them life.
yeah,
There's people who don't take control of their life. But I'm telling you, remember we said this up front, you know, you have to take control of your life, irrespective of where your origin is. Irrespective of where your origin is. And when I say your origin don't have a forebearing impact on where you're going now, but you have to take control of part of your life. You have to take control, you have to take ownership and responsibility and accountability. But bro, it's amazing. It's amazing. It's amazing. It's amazing. And the people that again, the next people them know who do the same thing over and over and refuse to try something new. Bro, you know how much failure, how much things me feel, bro. Me.
Yeah, man. I believe that.
You know how much things me feel, bro. I feel so much. My life is not punctuated by failures, you know. Because my failure, my brush. It's like I hear my 9-year-old son use a word the other day, hydrophobic, which means that water just run off you, right? Me hydrophobic to failure. My hydrophobic failure lick and it just go, right? And I'm just try something else.
Risk tolerance is high.
Bro, my risk tolerance is super high. My risk tolerance is super high. But also, why my risk tolerance is so high is that I am also very pragmatic. Like, my risk assessment is also top notch.
Yeah.
Like, bro, you hear me tell you, say, me learn about, me come up with the idea to launch DNA testing in Jamaica.
And
come up with the idea, build the website, design everything, meet the lab agreement, put me fly go foreign, go meet with lab. Me say me a come, put it on my credit card, pull up in the lobby, sign these agreements. Me put millions of dollars on my credit card, millions on my credit card, because I bet for myself. You have to show me so me can do this.
That's crazy.
I put millions on my credit card before me make $1. So you understand what I say. So risk tolerance is high, but we have when you see me, we're lucky in on certain things and try to learn it. You know that, and everybody can do it.
Yeah.
You don't take no special. Me not think we're not special, bro. We're not special. All we have gifts. We just need to understand what our gifts are and use the gifts. And where
the Bible say it now.
Bro, all we have gifts, bro. Bible tell you, all we have gifts, and this is where you go back to the part where we need to hold in pan in terms of our closure is all we have gifts, and where you need support outside of a gift that you don't have, that is where collaboration comes in. And that is where you have to have network, and you have to live good with people, and you have to reciprocate good. You can't just accept, because some people are takers, bro, but they never give you. They never give you. It's a balance, bro. You have to give and reciprocate value, you know?
Yeah.
And it's just that. You have to give and reciprocate value.
Yeah, man. I mean, value is a thing that is perceived, you know, right? You're adding to something. That is it. When I'm at the solar, when I was at the solar, working for the solar company, when I was in management, and we would when I would be conducting my interviews, I would say to the people coming in, I said, look, be an asset. Point blank. It's as simple as I could put it. Be an asset. Don't become a liability. And I mean, what do you mean by that? Well, how can I be a liability in this case? I said, well, I mean, if I am busy and you keep on asking me some simple questions that you can find, you become a liability because you're a distraction, right?
Right, yeah, distraction.
Yes. Now, you mentioned something earlier where you say you can learn from anybody, and that is 100%
anybody.
True. The amount of times I get new hires who come in and they would come from finance and them come from real estate, and they used to do things a different type of way, and you can take little nuggets from them. Just in terms of sales is about word track, and they might say it a certain type of way, and I was like, Huh. What thief that? You have to be the biggest thief out there.
Yeah, man. Yeah, me call that's I mean it's a reverse engineer. My
Yeah, man.
chief yo, one at a time I thought about renaming my Instagram handle to reverse engineer. I'm the chief at reverse engineering things. You see, if you
Yeah,
do
man.
something, bro, and that thing work again, you know, a part of the approach to it. Because as I say, my approach is I give credit.
Yeah.
Yeah, my big bang giving credit.
Yeah, man.
So if I
Knowledge.
recognize that, yeah, give credit and acknowledge people. If I recognize that there's something, I say, yeah, that is it. Because I have ideas on everything.
Yeah.
I don't profess to be right on everything, but I have an idea. I have a thought. This is my thought on it. What do you think?
Yeah.
Zine? And you say once you say something, I mean, I was thinking once somebody says something but the idea is better than mine, I know immediately. I got the idea there. The best idea win irrespective of which part it come from or who it come from.
Yeah.
Yeah, but just know I have my own thoughts on it.
Yeah.
This is my thoughts with the information I have right now. This is how I think about it. What do you say? And once you come up with something, bro, that makes sense, I will talk about it and whatever time it makes sense. Once, bro, your thing better. That way I work with.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, man. That way I
Yeah,
work
man.
with.
Because as I said, you know, I was writing a but. You
No,
do
man.
your research and you know what you talk about.
Yeah, cause we strive to be right most of the time, you know. And it's,
Yeah.
it's a personality feature of mine. The other day, I was helping out a university student with an assignment. I think the assignment was for them to interview a business owner who had businesses over a particular area. And they do these things every year, and I try to help them because when I was doing it at university, I found it so difficult to get a business person to talk to me, bro. Zine? So every year I help the students. Yeah. Every year. I remember, you know. Don't do me nothing. I remember. That's a mistake. Yeah. So every year I help them. And this year was something new because they required the business persons to do a psychometric assessment. And I learned, I reaffirmed a few things about who I am, or why I am the way I am.
Interesting.
Yeah, I saw the psychometric assessment and I'm like, I see it. I could see this, but it was the first time I did a psychometric assessment that way. And I genuinely answered the question because I was trying to help her. But when I read the report, I'm like, yeah, this is me. Yeah, this is me. Now the psychometric assessment was spot on, and that is just yeah.
No, man.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, I believe that I enjoyed this conversation. I can
It
definitely
was a
tell
good
you.
conversation for true, bro.
Because you know one of the things is quite often, and we touch on social media in this social media era, and when you're in the era of people wanting to party all the time and do this and that and whatever, there's so much noise and distraction. And when you look on social media and the type of content that is on social media and YouTube sometimes in the Jamaica diaspora, right? There's not enough conversations like this being had with somebody who is young. And as I say, you might for a lot of people, they might feel like you already figured it out, but you confessed earlier on that
Yeah, bro.
you're still figuring it out.
Still figuring it out.
So I believe that this conversation, I enjoyed the conversation. I think this is a conversation that needs to go viral within Jamaica. Not as a flex, or anything otherwise, other than just understanding the journey. Not where you are, not the amount of money in your bank account, not a conversation around how much money you've made or anything like that and what kind of watch you have on. None of that.
Right.
It's about the journey of from a little country boy, you know, somebody would have looked on you and call, hey boy, to yes sir, right? There is a transition that happened there, and that's what people need to understand because people say the glory, but they never care about the story.
Yes, that's a good.
Can DJ, right?
Man, tell you, bro. I tell you, you onto something. You onto something.
Yeah, man, them call me DJ Ebanks, you know?
I also want to say something to you. So I know you're taking on this journey of having conversations, bro, and may have to commend you upon choosing this path because there are many paths, bro. There are many paths. You understand? Especially when you start thinking about because obviously you're investing time in talking to people. You want people to view your content. And there's a easy way to get the content. It's to follow the Ray. To get the views.
Yeah.
You understand? Yeah, they follow the Ray. And you'll get the views, right? But then when you start thinking about you want to have conversations that you can guide people that you can learn from too. Because a while ago you said so many things that I've noted. Now let me say, yeah, maybe we need to start thinking that way. There. So we just have to come in upon the party where you take rather than go in the railway and just look for keep having more conversations with more people. People of all shape, our sizes, bro. People who do things, people who figure it out, people who still figure it out. I mean, because all of this information is valuable to somebody. I know earlier you said you want this conversation to go viral, and I know you said it with the best intention because you want to try to have the conversation to reach as much people and have maximum impact on people. At this stage in my life, I would frame it that way. What I would say is I want the conversation to reach the right set of people who have where have the right impact. So virality is prevalent, bro.
True.
Yeah, we want a conversation reach and people understand. Say, yo, bro, we not come from nothing. We not have the structure, but we not come from nothing. But we come from a family who have ambitious family, you understand? And people who stand up in each other corner, and they gave us the best opportunity to do better for ourselves. And we took the opportunity to do better for ourselves, and in turn, it gave some returns so we can even help them to do better for themselves too. You see what I say? And all we had to do is try pass it on and share more people, because I know for a fact that I stand on the shoulder of my mother and my father who never finished high school, and my uncles them who go back to the CXCs who put themselves in a position to sign my guarantor letter. My grandmother will take care of me from me whoa till me young. I don't want to talk about my grandmother too much. You see me I say? All the people, all of the friends them when I grew up with, my high school teachers, I remember every single one of them. I remember one of them who style me. I remember one of them who just acknowledge me as a youth. I remember every single one of them. You see me I say?
Likewise.
I remember every single one of them. That's why you know. Remember what you do.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. So everybody, and everybody, I wouldn't out here when I compete with nobody. When I compete with nobody, you understand? Yo, me want hold on to do the best one you can do for yourself and keep pushing. Don't sit down and just don't just live life, bro. You have to live your life intentional.
Yeah.
You have to live your life intentionally, you understand? Intentionally forward. And just ask people questions, because you see, if we are the next thing, bro, Dwight, say if we understand, what some of what other people them go through, we'd all be nice to each other,
Yeah, man.
Yeah, man. You say we'd
Everybody's
understand
going through something,
Eh?
Everybody's going through something.
Bro, everybody go through something, bro. And we'll all be nice to each other. You understand? And once we approach the conversation with vulnerability and transparency and not just asking people questions with fastening them business, but to learn and to help, the world can be such a better place, bro. For you and for you, person who you are asking for, because some people just want the opportunity to explain what am I go through and get a sounding feedback, and we all learn from that. And I just think we need to get to that point. We have some more sensible discussions like this, on a human to human level. Cut out the flexing, and that is where I learned about the delayed gratification. But you know when me decide me not buy me not skate pan not hole.
Yeah, man. Nobody skate.
No, me not skate pan not hole. My car, my own that 100 bank, no own it. Me own it 100%.
Yeah.
You see me I say? You really want to know what my flex is? Look at what me I do. Look at what me I do. I future me I build for myself and for my kids. And for my family. So that's what me do. Yeah.
That's what I think there.
Yeah, that's what me do.
Yeah, man. This is a conversation. Let me rephrase it. This is a conversation that needs to reach listening ears. It's not a matter. You're right. It's not a matter of viral, because viral typically means that you do something that is
salacious, bro. Salacious. Yeah.
It's typically something dramatic, and it's typically something of no substance or value.
Yeah, man.
But you know what? We need this conversation to reach listening ears, and we need it to impact somebody. You never know what the result might be, right? And that's essentially why I started this platform. And I definitely appreciate you seeing that. I'm definitely 150%, and plus some, appreciate you coming onto the platform, telling your story, and just giving everybody a insight of what your journey was like and what you are actually working on. So for everybody watching, hopefully you know who your family is and everything. And I mean, we now wish that upon anybody. So you don't know, but if you don't know, 876
Just look on your phone and dial 876 and spell BNATEST. That's all you need to do. Anywhere in the world, just do that.
Yeah, man. And I
Done.
you know what I mean? Now, if
Done.
you are in the Kingston area, especially for the Papi in our Mona side, and you need a haircut, make sure you find a way to campus cuts. You
Yes,
know what I mean?
sir.
You know what I mean?
Yes,
And
sir.
just do the thing. You know what I mean? Appreciate you coming on again, Terron. You know what I mean? Vita Cinere, Literis Morris.
Life without learning, bro, is dead.
It's dead.
Yes, sir. Love and respect.
Yeah, man. Love and respect.
All
All
right, my
people.
brother.
On to the next episode.